Let's do it. Hey guys, it's Lavetta.
And it's Miriam.
And this is the Notorious Women Podcast, a comedy podcast about some of history's most notorious women.
Yes.
Yes. I feel silly today. I don't know why.
I think that's a good thing.
It is. I'm still grieving, but I have my moments where I'm being silly because I remember my grandmother.
Good. Yes.
She liked when I was silly, so.
Listen, you've got to honor your grandmother by being silly. That's just how it is.
Because we are a silly family. My family's got some issues, but we are very, very silly. Miriam's laughing.
Yeah.
She's laughing because we just talked about some foolishness that's going on in my family, and she's being polite, but she's laughing for that reason.
Well, also because my family has never been up in foolishness before, ever. My family is the picture that Norman Rockwell, I can't even say his name. Like, I can't even keep pretending that anything coming out of my mouth is true. Did you hear that? Like, I tried. Like, I can't get the lie out. Like, my body was like, nope.
Oh my God, it's funny. Yeah. Yep. I mean, we're doing the best we can, but
yes, we are.
I know you have a lot going on this week with your beautiful family and your beautiful children, so we won't delay any longer. And I know that our listeners, are dying to hear us. But before we do that, I do want to thank, because, we're going to be better about this, listeners, but I do want to give a shout out to some of our YouTube folks who've been leaving messages for us. In particular, Deborah Battle. She is so sweet. She has, she's commented on our channel on YouTube where you guys can find us. Remember to follow us on all the things, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and the Apple Store and wherever you get your podcasts. Copy the link and send it to your people.
Yes, please.
But I digress. Deborah Battle. So about 3 weeks ago, she commented, thank you so much, Deborah Battle, by the way. And her handle on YouTube is at BattleGirlDeb, DEB. So thank you so much again. But she commented on the Simone de Beauvoir and Mary Baker episode. Still working my way through the older episode of this podcast. So thank you, Deborah, for listening to us. We really, really appreciate it.
It's funny, like hearing about Mary Baker and Simone de Beauvoir. I'm like, they feel like old friends, like, I remember that.
It's true. Or, I mean, in my case, it's like, how long has it been? No, I'm just, also want to give a shout out to Daniel Levitch, 25. That is his handle. Daniel says, awesome. My favorite podcast is finally on YouTube. Rocket ladies. Yeah. Thank you so much, Daniel. Really, really appreciate that. And if you guys want to leave us a comment, you can find us on YouTube as well under the Notorious Women Podcast. Okay. And I just turned that off because apparently I'm getting old and I'm turning into that person.
Are you that person?
That old person.
Did you accidentally turn on the YouTube?
Yes, on the YouTube. Or the tickety-tock.
All those buttons. What do they do?
I tell you, I want to blame it and say it's an homage to my grandmother because she used to mispronounce everything because that's just what old Southern people do. But no, I'm just getting old and I'm mispronouncing stuff.
Listen, I love that so much about you. I just do. I'm not saying it's a good or a bad thing. I just love it. There we are.
Oh my God. I used to have a friend that, this was years ago, so I had no excuse, but I used to always, she knew me so well, I used to always be like, Matt Dillon. She's like, I know you mean Matt Damon, but I'm going to let it go.
I'm like, I think it's hilarious. Like, I really, really do. And like when my kids were really little and they would mispronounce things, I never corrected them. Now they figured it out. Stop. Don't come at me. Okay, parents. But it was so cute. Okay, I'm just gonna mom for just like a quick second here. They thought,
do you, girl?
Okay, ready? The word balloon was baboolin. And oh my God, that's so cute.
That is the cutest thing ever.
Mommy baboolin.
Baboolin.
Okay, we'll get you a baboolin. I called it baboolin too. I never changed it. And one day they just came home and said, "Can I have a balloon, please?" And I was like, "Who taught you that word?"
Don't use that word in this house. It's baboolin.
How dare you?
That's what it is.
baboolin.
It's always baboolin. Oh,
right.
Well,
Right.
I guess we should get started.
Yes.
I believe you are first this
It's
week.
me.
So, who is your notorious women? Yeah, you, Miriam.
It's me.
Lay it
All
on
right.
me.
So, I'm so excited about talking about her. I can't even.
Okay.
Because you know how I usually find amazing, fabulous, crazy, unexpected. That's my, my thing. We're taking a turn today. Do you watch The Real Housewives of anything?
Yeah, I am an OG Housewives watcher. I'm talking about Orange County. Okay, I'm telling you. Yeah.
Bringing her back to the day.
Yeah.
Okay, listen.
Oh, yeah.
I never watched any Real Housewives. I just didn't. It
How
wasn't
are we
like
friends.
I know. I guess this is the last episode. I keep saying that. There is no judgment when I say I don't watch The Real Housewives. I cannot judge because the amount of trash that I witness on the television is a lot. Okay. I mean, a lot. Okay, Love is Blind. I will watch every season.
Now, I see. I get off with the dating. Some of the dating shows are pretty cool, but yeah, I'm more of like because I'm nosy, so I want to see what people's kitchens and bathrooms look like.
Fair enough.
So that is why I watch
Yeah.
The Housewives, and also it's
yeah.
just trash and stupid and
many levels. So the newest-ish one, as far as I know, I don't know if there's like another new one that opened like yesterday, is The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Did you ever watch The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City?
I've only, because that is one of the newer ones or newish ones. I've only seen maybe 3 or 4 episodes. I didn't find them as interesting, even though I know that woman Shaw or something went to jail or something.
And Lavetta. That's who we're talking about today. Jen Shaw. That's right. I took a deep dive into this woman and watched like maybe an entire season of The Real Housewives in something like a day.
Oh, so you're going to school me on The Housewives because I really don't know that much about Salt Lake City.
Oh.
Okay.
I
Lay
know
it on
so
me.
much about Salt Lake City.
Okay.
Now, I just want to clarify that like I might be off a little because I did like I swear to God I watched it. So I did a lot of fast forwarding, and I'm not like as like I know some people are like super super into it but I did a lot of research, which was really funny because at first I was like, let me do background research, not just like watch the show and then talk about it. Let me like look things up. And so I did a lot of like, I've read a million articles, I'll say, from some of where I got, but like, and then I watched the show and I was like, most of it's on the show, but not all of it. So.
Oh, okay.
I got information from Entertainment Weekly, Vulture, NBC News, exactnetworth.com. I was new. I didn't know about that. I mean, I know the Daily Mail is questionable, but I found some stuff there, so I'll say that. People, CNN, and there is a documentary on Hulu that I watched. I can't remember the name of it.
There is. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so on one of the websites that I read, really hard to find, by the way, like her earlier life. They said she was born October 4th, 1983 in Salt Lake City, Utah, to her parents, Sione Kaisa Louis and Charlene Bonnie Vincent Louis. Now, if she was born in 1983, then I was born in 1986. But I was born in 1976. So
the shade. Okay, this is gonna be a good one.
I'm just trying to math. That's all. Okay.
Oh my God, Miriam's like, bitch, sure, you were born in 1983.
I remember my childhood in the early 2000s. I don't, though. Okay. So, her father was a rugby player. I'm not exactly sure what her mother did. He passed away in 2018. So she is Hawaiian, Tongan, and this was written and a bit Chinese. Now, I don't know how that works, but
I guess I do. Yeah. I have a couple friends from Hawaii, and Hawaii has a large Chinese, Japanese, Filipino culture, but also population that goes back to like early 1900s, 1930s. Like it's very it's obviously with Native Hawaiian culture and
so there's like a little bit, right?
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense, actually.
She is a beautiful woman. Like, she is a beautiful woman on the outside. Okay. What I say? Oh, no. Everything I say is alleged. Don't come at me. All right. So she grew up with her 5 siblings. Cute. Ready? Judd, Jessica, Jehon, Jarrett, and Jacob. So they like the letter J. Okay.
And they like it. I get it.
Okay. She grew up as a brown-skinned woman in Utah, so she definitely dealt with a fair amount of racism, kids calling her dirty and not, so that quite probably affects her choices, I suppose. Just throwing that out there as a fact. She is married to a man named Sharif Shah, who is the special teams coordinator and cornerbacks coach at the University of Utah. They married in 1994 after meeting in college. So she went to the University of Utah as well. She was raised Mormon because Utah, I assume. But then she converted to Islam.
But a Hawaiian?
Yes.
But a Hawaiian, cultured woman in Utah becomes Mormon? Because, Mormons didn't believe black people existed to 1976. So there's that.
It was 1978.
Allegedly.
I memorized the Book of Mormon. So in 1978, they changed their minds about... Okay. I don't want to get sued, but it's really good, you guys. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
So apparently, this I've read in one of the many articles is that she had gone to her husband and said, I think you should convert to Mormonism. And he said, why would I convert to a religion that did not think I was human until 1978? And so she was like, fair point. And so she converted to Islam.
Okay. That crumbled. She crumbled like, oh, yeah. And he was like, I'm assuming her husband is African-American. Is he African-American?
Yeah, he's African-American. Okay. Yeah. All right. And, based on my watching of The Real Housewives, he seems like such a nice guy. That's all. I don't know. Like, who knows? Because it's all like scripted and shit. But like, I don't know.
I love how he came back with her like, is you dizzy, girl? Yeah. He probably didn't say it like that. That's just me putting my stake on it.
Listen,
I'd like to imagine that she's like, I like him to imagine she's like, honey, you have to convert to Mormonism because I'm Mormon. And he was like, bitches, you crazy? They don't even think black people existed. Nope. No, he probably didn't say that. He was like, no, dear, we will not be doing that. So,
it was probably more the second thing, but I like the first thing. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, this is a comedy podcast. This is a comedy. Come on now.
Mm-hmm. Everybody calm down. All right. So she apparently ran, according to her, several businesses: JXA Fashion, Shaw Beauty, and the Real Shaw Lashes, and a marketing company. Okay, cool. She also worked, and a lot of this particular stuff I got from the documentary. She worked at Prosper Inc. So from it was a company. Sorry, from the words, girl. I'm trying. From the year 2006 to 2011, she was the director of business development. Now, Prosper got in a lot of trouble around the time she was there. They made national news for allegedly waterboarding one of the employees to inspire the other employees to sell better.
I'm sorry. Whoa.
Yeah, that's just like, that's not waterboarding. Now,
And
I'm not saying
say
she
waterboarded. Water. This is how my elocution teacher taught me. Waterboarded.
Water. Okay, we're both triggered.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah. Now, clarifying, I'm not saying she did that, but she is working in a culture of at least getting sued for it. I don't know how the lawsuit came out. So again,
I don't understand.
Yeah.
Alleged. I don't understand how you don't immediately run screaming for your life from this building or being like, I got to go to the bathroom.
They were probably being held down.
And never coming back.
I mean,
I'm talking about when you witness this or hearing about this.
Right. How were all those people in that room not like immediately calling 911? I would call 911. That's
when you bring out like torture tactics from the armed forces.
We still have some laws in this country, okay? No. You
what
can't
were they
do that.
selling? Guns? What?
I don't know. No idea.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Yeah. I did not expect you to say that.
No, I didn't expect to find that out. That was very odd. And
they got waterboarded a fellow employee.
Yeah.
Are you fucking kidding me? Wow.
Just a Tuesday.
Okay. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Wow.
You don't have to be sorry. You didn't do it.
Okay, go on.
Ooh,
wow.
Okay.
Wow.
So again, it's alleged. I think they settled. So in 2011, she went to another so I think this was a telemarketing. So she went to another telemarketing company called Thrive, where she was the VP of business development. Now, one of her family members said that the reason she left is because while she was excited about being VP, she was not invited to the weekly VP meetings and she was pissed, so she quit. Okay. I think she's a woman of color and they were dicks. And I wouldn't be surprised if that were very, very true. Right? That sounds right.
Yeah, if you're a VP and they don't invite you to the meetings, what am I doing, dude?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So now hashtag not historians, don't really know how long she was with the company and don't really know what she did between being in the company and 2020. But I do know that in 2020, she started showing up in your living room in the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Okay. Now, in her audition interview, she talks about her very lavish lifestyle, how she spent $50,000, I think, a day or a week, no, it was a month. That's it. Words. I wrote them down. $50,000 a month. It was because for me, $50,000 a day and $50,000 a month is the same unattainable
it's the same
goal.
Thing.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I will be doing neither ever. That's fine.
Even to a billionaire, it's that's a lot of money for what now?
Yeah, a billionaire, I feel unless it's purchasing and part of your business, upkeep, totally possible. But just your lifestyle, just your vacations and your stuff, what are you doing? Okay, now everyone knows who watches the show. She has very, very solid anger issues.
Well, I'm sorry. What was the $50,000 for?
Her lavish lifestyle,
what was the
girl. Her lavish lifestyle.
Oh, but is it hair and makeup? What is it? Flowers? What is it? Wardrobe? She just said my lavish lifestyle.
She just was I spent $50,000 a month because I'm amazing. And you're not.
Oh, gotcha.
I mean, if you see her, she has 19 rings on every finger, each probably worth $1 billion. You know what I mean? I don't which is funny.
She's ethnically ambiguous looking to most Americans. But when you see her, she kind of reminds you of Imelda Marcos.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Yeah.
So,
whoa.
Yeah.
That's a lady we should talk
an
about
updated.
sometime.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
And so, like, it's like for me personally, like she has like anger issues and they're very well documented on the TV screen. And I'm like, you have that money and you're still angry? Girl, I'm sorry. But if you gave me that much money to spend on my family, I would not be angry.
Miriam, we have gone over this. If I could spend that kind of money, I'd be butt naked on a yacht somewhere.
Yep.
With some sexy boy toy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Lots of men's. I would not be upset. Yeah. I'd be butt naked on a yacht somewhere.
That's right.
Just saying.
Could I join you on occasion?
Yes.
Okay,
I would only put on clothes to actually eat because I am a human being and not,
I appreciate that.
Yeah, but most of the time butt naked on a yacht somewhere.
I'll be in the water. That's where my happy place. I'll be in the water.
In the water, out the water, drinking champagne.
Yes. But lots of
no
Advil because I'm old now. Yeah.
Just drink your water and getting foot rubs by Boy Toys. Come on.
Yes, foot rubs by Boy Toys. Hashtag goals. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay, why is she inspiring us? This is terrible. Okay. All right. So and like y'all, if you're like tuning in because you like want to hear about her, yes, she has there's a black eye incident. It was very well documented. Like Heather woke up with a black eye.
Tell me what happened with that? Because I saw Heather on the girls trip thing and I didn't know what the reference was into. Okay, so what's the black eye thing?
This is all alleged because nobody is like, Jen denies. But Heather came out and said that it was Jen. And Jen was like, I didn't do it. And it's hard.
Heather is her cast member on Real Housewives of Salt Lake City.
She has a last name. I don't remember what it is. I kind of like her. I don't know.
She's the blonde girl. She's one of the blonde ones. Yeah.
She wrote a book, Bad Mormon. And, I'll probably buy it at an airport one day. Like, you know what I mean? But like not in a bad way, in a great way. I'm going to have the best flight. You know what I'm saying?
But see, this is the difference between, this is why I could never be on one of those housewives. Because if somebody gave me a black eye,
I'd call
there would be no
it wouldn't be a mystery.
Confusion about who gave it to me. Because that bitch have on a neck brace, okay? She'd be in the hospital. Or she'd also have 2 black eyes, okay? You gonna get physical with me? No.
Not yet. Yeah.
It's on.
No, it wasn't.
And Heather's
filmed.
just like, oh.
That's like.
Yeah. No, I don't. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
If I show up on camera with a black eye, this bitch showing up with 2 black eyes and a neck brace. It's going down. It's some hair missing out of her scalp. Okay.
Listen, Lavetta, that's like exactly why you'd be cast on a Real Housewives.
Yes. Well, don't get physical. Keep your hands to yourself, people.
Yeah. Now, again, it is alleged, okay, because she's denied it and there is no proof. So, but she does have anger. You see, but she's like, man, throwing things and like, and apparently this affected her marriage. They talk about it with her husband was like, you got to stop. And so she was like, oh, he apparently before anything happened that I will get to eventually, I swear, he had looked into a divorce lawyer and was like, this is not okay. So she apparently had been working on her anger management stuff, which saved her marriage. I will say they are still married.
That's good. That's good.
So, give her that credit. Okay. So she's like running these businesses. Nobody at Bravo even kind of knows what it is she's doing. And there's even like an interview with Andy Cohen is like, what do you do? And she's like, I have businesses and I'm algorithm person and I just work. And very important. And he's like, that's not okay. March 2021. She is arrested on charges of wire fraud and money laundering as part of an alleged nationwide telemarketing scheme that defrauded hundreds of victims, many of them senior citizens.
Go to hell. Go straight to hell. Yeah.
I almost trigger warned you because Y'all, nothing pisses Lavetta off more than messing with children or elderly people.
Because seriously, I think,
Yeah.
old people are vulnerable, but not until recently when I've been looking after my grandparents, how vulnerable they are to these kinds of schemes.
Yeah.
Constantly, side note, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but
No.
beginning around 8 a.m., 8:30 a.m., the phone rings constantly.
Really?
By telemarketers or scammers who are they try and trick you by saying, oh, you owe this bill that you may or may not remember paying, just so they can get your credit card information, or call back for an exciting opportunity, or Medicaid or Medicare. They use these code words that make people think that, oh, I need to sign up for that. So yeah, I'm sorry, but yeah, go straight to fucking hell. Yeah.
And that's the thing is, and I in the documentary, there's a man who works for the government and finds these people and arrests. That's his job. And his thing was if you're watching and you've been duped by her or someone like her, you are not an asshole. And I really appreciated that because it is so easy. I fell for it when we were trying to buy a house, right? I woke up, I was out of it. I wasn't thinking, I grabbed my phone. I don't do this anymore. My phone is no longer next to my bed. And so I saw an email from Amazon saying, and I had just ordered something for a friend's kid's birthday. So I had changed the address. So I knew I had done something different. And it was hey, you messed up. You need to. And I started to go because it made sense to me. I had done something different. I messed up. And then it asked me for my social security number and I panicked and I got rid of everything and I closed everything out. And then I had to freeze my account. Yep. And I'm pretty smart. I'm college educated. I'm young-ish compared, it's so
You're not a senior citizen who gets easily confused or maybe have early stages of dementia.
Right. And I was lucky. I was able to catch it halfway. I was able to make a bunch of phone calls to banks and things to make sure that nothing was affected. But I'm able to do that. I'd say most people aren't to some degree because I also I freaked out. I have a husband right next to me who's helping me keep my head on straight. What if he was out of town? I mean, it was COVID. No one was out of town, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
So... yeah, I thought you'd like her a lot. Okay, so let's see what happens. So her assistant, Stuart Smith, was also arrested in this alleged scam. They were then, they were both released. They were allowed to be released. I mean, they were, going to get in trouble. The restrictions were that they couldn't speak to each other. Now, if you'd watched the show, he was around her all the time. They were best friends, and they no longer speak. So the charge was 1 count of conspiracy to commit wire fraud and 1 count of conspiracy to commit money laundering. The investigations had actually been going on for years because this is a nationwide thing, right? And this has been another version of it. Yeah.
$1 billion business. Yeah. Yeah.
So this is fun. So she had a virtual court appearance the end of March of 2021. Remember, nobody had a COVID shot yet, right? So everything's still virtual. This is, and so they did it online. And because she is famous, so many people were trying to get in to watch because these things are public, right? And then she couldn't get into her own arraignment. And then, they finally, and then they had technical issues Skype for Business stopped working. It's an SNL sketch. Come on, this is funny.
Yeah, totally.
And then they finally just rescheduled it. And then there was a reporter who was on the call as well, and he said that they heard a toilet flushing in the background. They heard people talk, the judge kept trying to get them to mute and they just wouldn't. And so you'd hear oh my God, do you watch Bravo? I can't help it. I love this so much.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
I was this is the 2020s, y'all. It's a new world.
Hilarious.
So then they came back April 2nd and They agreed to let her stay released, but set a $1 million personal recognizance bond backed by $250,000 in cash or property. They tried to argue because they said she's not a flight risk because she's famous. But they basically decided that between the two of them, they had too much money that they really could get on a plane.
Yeah.
And she was told to
go
not
to
have
Bali.
any. Right?
Yeah, with no
I guess
extradition treaty. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I don't think I would do these scams. So I don't think of myself as someone, but I guess I just want to go to Bali. I think that's basically all I'm saying.
You and me both.
That sounds like a great time. But I want to come home afterwards. So maybe don't trick hundreds of people out of millions of dollars, thousands of people. Yeah, anyways. So she was also told to not have any drug use or any excessive use of alcohol, which is hilarious because she is a real housewife. And that's all they do all the time.
Oh, that's not fair.
Girl,
that's
you
not
watch the
fair.
show. There is not a scene without a glass of wine in everyone's hand.
Yes,
I watched the entire season in a day.
But Miriam, it's not real alcohol. It's either champagne or rosé. Come on, these are housewives.
I'm sorry, you're right. It's not like alcohol. It's champagne. Stop it. Okay, so what they were accused of, to be more specific, I got this from Vulture. The indictment alleges that from 2012 to March 2021, SHAH and Stewart carried out a wide-ranging telemarketing scheme that defrauded hundreds of victims throughout the United States, quote, many of whom were over the age of 55. They allege that they sold purported business services. So they also participated in a coordinated effort to traffic lists of potential victims referred to as leads in the indictment. Allegedly, they did this knowing that these people would be scammed by others. So apparently, if it was just the leads, and without knowledge of that, just like giving here, this person. So when you see work from home ads, just, random ads, work from home, y'all, that's what this is. I never clicked on those ads, but I didn't know what they were. And now, I know what they are. And then it'll be for $99, we're going to set you up so you can work from home. Those are scams, y'all. Those are scams.
That's what those are. Oh, wow. Mm-hmm. Okay.
I didn't know that.
Well, why would you? Because you're thinking, it's probably some marketing thing. Like I'm calling to sign these people up. I would imagine maybe the workers probably think, I'm just calling people to sign these people up for these services packages that we're selling. But they may or may not know that those things do not exist.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So there is that element of it. But they are also designed to keep getting money from people. Well, if you give me $200 more, I'll actually, and you're going to make that back in 3 weeks. You're going to make double, triple that. It's a lot of.
Oh, you mean the actual people who sign up for the work from home?
Yeah.
Oh,
because,
gotcha. They are the. If you don't know what the product is, you are the product. Where does that come from? I forget. Okay, gotcha.
So they basically were saying, we'll help you with tax preparation, we'll help you with website design. Some of these people did not own computers, and they got them to give them their money, even though they were they didn't have access to be able to use services that actually didn't even exist. Okay. Wow. So, and they made a lot of money. Now, I don't know much about Stewart. I actually couldn't find that much, but he's a man, so whatever. But they both initially pled not guilty. In November of 2021, he changed his plea to guilty. Now, this pissed her off.
Oh, suck it now. They's fighting. Oh, tell me.
Oh yeah, I don't want to say karma, but okay, I just said it. It's too late.
Stuart is like, what had happened was, let me tell you a tale. Pull up a chair.
Everybody, gather round. Yes, gather round. I have details and pictures of all the paperwork. Yes.
Ooh, all right. He had all the receipts. Okay. All right, Stuart. Okay.
Suffice to say, she was really, really mad about it. Really, really mad about it. And okay, so there's a really good episode that played out. Bravo, you can thank me. You're welcome, Bravo. Y'all go watch it. It's good. She basically blames him for everything and says that like he betrayed her. Like she basically was like, I wouldn't be in this mess without him. And even one of the housewives was like, I mean, really? Because he was her lackey. Like he was like, you need a tampon up your vagina? Got it. You know, like
they saw the dynamics, the interpersonal dynamics. So they're like,
and they were like, really? Really? He was scamming her? I don't know. So they're not friends anymore. Very not friends anymore.
I'm so surprised. Color me surprised.
This is funny when you create an evil lair with someone, how it doesn't go well when you get caught. Now her husband basically says he didn't know what this was happening. And it's interesting because
he may not have. He may not have, because I feel like if you explain, some people have jobs. There's all kinds of jobs nowadays that you're like, what do you do? And I still like when it comes to like finance, people try and explain it to me. I still don't know what it means. You know, so honestly, he may, especially if he comes from sports where he's like a coach, you said?
Yeah. And he actually makes a good living. Like he makes a lot of money doing that. He works for a university, which is, I don't know. I don't know sports ball that well, as evidenced by our last
He makes
episode,
enough for her not to have to scam in order to have a living. Right. But if you want to spend $50,000 a month, then that's what you need to do.
You need to scam.
Or you think you do, allegedly. Yeah.
But honestly, you just like, maybe, no, you can't spend $50,000 a month. No. Did no one? Okay. It's like when my kids want to watch more TV. No, you can't. It's time for bed. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just no.
Yeah.
There are text messages between Jen and Stuart where her husband was prepared to help them deal with questioning by the Federal Trade Commission in 2018. But that could mean anything. I don't actually think that that's, and I think that they did such thorough research that if he were a part of it, they would have known.
Oh yeah, they
you know what I
mean?
Him now. Because and listen, there's the episode where she's on trial. Okay, you see the look on his. There's two looks that I was like, oh shit, because he's also a lawyer. Like he went to law school. And so he'd been researching, and there's a scene where they walk into the hotel room where they're about to go to court, and the girls are like, I'm on TV, let's talk. And he's got a computer open and he just looks so down. And I think he did so much research because they're like, yeah, we have all the statements. And I think he read all through the statements and went, oh, fuck, she did this. That's what this is the look on his face was like,
damn.
Now, you know, more power to him for sticking around. I don't know. I think my husband would stick around. I think he'd be pissed.
Yeah.
Oh, pissed.
I think so too. As it should be like, yeah.
But he's someone who would be like, I'm going to change your ways. He's just, you know, he's very loyal.
Yeah.
It's really annoying. I love him so much. It's annoying. It's obnoxious. Anyways, so.
No, you don't.
So she pled guilty. Okay, spent 2 seasons on the show telling everyone how not guilty she was. And in the promos for, I think season 2 was like, she says, the only thing I'm guilty of is being SHAH amazing, which was used as material for the authorities against her.
Damn.
They like, bitch, you are filming all the evidence in front of you. You're filming it.
Yep.
The more you did, because apparently I learned some things. If you plead guilty, you get like less. They're because you own your mistakes, they're like less mad at you. But if you plead not guilty and like you super totally did it, then they're really pissed off. Like, and you're denying it, right? Yeah. So, speaking of, in July 2022, she changed her plea to guilty. So on this show, when she's all like, I didn't do it, she then like kind of like the next day, right, is like, I did it. And I think it was her husband, Heather and I, my new friend, Heather, my housewife friend, I really like her. We both agree that he probably saw too much damning evidence and said, if you plead guilty, you'll get a lesser charge. Yeah. That is alleged. I don't know anything. You asked me about my finances. I got nothing. I can point to my husband who knows everything. I know. You
also realize this is serious. This is not, and this is not for fun. This is not for TV. This is serious. And
they're literally filming the show. That's like a funny, fun, girl fight, silly, ridiculous show while this is like really happening. And that's, I think, why I really was attracted to this story, because you can't pretend. Like, it's too real, you know? Okay, so trial, a week after her guilty plea, she's sentenced to something like 11 years to 14 years. No, she's not. The sentencing guidelines were 11 to 14 years. But she ended up getting 6.5 years. And she had to...
Damn.
Yeah. So she's in jail right now.
Well,
she forfeit $6.5 million to the U.S. government and has to pay $9.5 million in restitution to the victims. I don't think she's paid that much yet. Also,
does she still have it? Because if she's spending $50,000 a month.
And what I think is really interesting, they're talking about in the documentary, her house, the huge chalet, like ridiculous. It's $1 billion house, whatever. They're renting it. So they never had, because think about it. If you, like, when we bought a house, like, they know everything. They know where your money comes from. They talk to the people. So that's my only thing of like why her husband, like, you make $1 million a year. Why wouldn't you want to try to buy a house? But to have a lavish lifestyle like that, you have to have.
Yeah, I was going to say, it could be that he's thinking that, and again, I don't know because I didn't watch it as closely, but it could be that he's thinking that, okay, my wife likes to spend beyond our means. So that's why we don't have the right credit to get a house, even though we might have cash on hand. So could be.
And then one more thing. So Assistant U.S. Attorney Kirsten Ann Fletcher said that if the case had gone to trial, the evidence would have shown that she used encrypted applications to chat with co-conspirators to discuss moving the operation offshore to Kosovo. So she said that there were also thousands of victims, a number of whom would have testified at her trial.
Oh, yeah.
And so she was right to plead guilty because damn. The court has decided that she is guilty. That's what I'm saying. I'm just going to say the word alleged because I don't want to get in trouble. But, I mean, she's in jail right now as we speak.
Wow. And if they gave her 6.5, what do you say, 6.5 years?
6.5 years.
Imagine what she would have gotten.
Oh.
If
30 years.
People had testified. Yeah.
I mean.
Wow.
Whew. Yeah, right? Oh my God.
So, and when was she sentenced? And when did she go in actually? Do you know?
Yeah. So she was sentenced in 2023, January, and she went in February 2023. So
she's been in there almost a year.
Almost a year. And they say that she might get out early because there's a whole like good behavior thing, but I think not earlier than 2028.
Wow.
Wherein she will immediately start her own reality show and everyone will watch it.
Exactly. I will say, if you like Heather, you should watch, is it Girls Trip 4, I think? It's the one with, because I don't know if you know about the Girls Trip spinoff. So basically the Girls Trip is like a bunch of housewives basically housewives who come together to go to like a trip to like Turkey or like
I knew
Thailand or something like that. Yeah, so she's the one. She's on the one. I think Thailand with Portia from Atlanta, Giselle from Potomac, a couple ladies from Miami, and Candace from Potomac, and she's on there, and she's totally like. And then I think she's on there with her cousin, maybe. The other blonde girl on Salt Lake City.
Oh,
and they're talking, and they are, it's funny because she's totally like fangirling on the other housewives. And she's just like,
my God.
I know. She's like, I know they're mean to me, but I don't care. I don't care. Like, I'm in the group. I'm in the circle. And I'm like, oh, Heather.
Oh my God, girl.
Yeah. So, wow.
No,
that's
like,
fascinating. Thank you.
You're welcome. Like, I don't want to be into housewives, but damn, it was a good time. I had a good time.
Oh, it is so trashy.
It's like, so fun. It's so fun.
It's so fun. And it's also a good way to just turn your brain off because, it's you feel simultaneously envious of their lifestyle, but also superior because you're like, these people are idiots.
Yeah.
So,
and it's like, I could be like in that resort with but then I'd be with those people. Like, do you want, is that the dream, Miriam? Is that the dream? And it's like not the full dream. So it's okay.
No. And it's some of them, it's not, they're not as good as they used to be because I feel like a lot of the women have caught on to try and become a great housewife, but actually being yourself makes you a good housewife.
It's true.
But so many of them come on now and they're trying to like create a moment and da-da-da. And it's like, also, it doesn't have to always be conflict. It could be fun, like just fun.
Yeah.
Which I actually think Girls Trip actually is more fun than like conflict. So you should check that out. I think you'll like that one. I think it's when they go
hired,
to,
wait, which was the fourth one? Not that I only watch very emotional,
for Girls Trip
television.
Or for
Girls Trip.
For Girls Trip, I think it might be 4 because I didn't even know it was a thing until like I watched that one. I think that was the first one I watched all the way through, and I was like, "Oh, this is pretty good. I like that it's more fun." Like, but Heather's on that one. But all right, so thank you for that, Jen Shah.
You're welcome.
So now my notorious woman this week has a lot in common with Jen Shah.
Okay.
The reason that they're notorious is not the same reason, but she equally wanted to twirl on her haters. She was about that life. She was living above her means. So my notorious woman today is a South Korean woman by the name of Kim Sun-JA. And forgive me if I'm butchering any of these names. I probably will. So please forgive me. My main sources today come from a YouTube channel called Crazy. That's crazy with a G. Crazy TV. An article, the Crime Wire article by Mike Grindle, and from an article from KoreaBoo.com, among other things. But those are my main sources today. So let's get into it now. And she is a bad girl. This one is. So now Kim Sun-JA was born on December 11th, 1933.
Okay.
We don't really know much about her childhood, but what we do know is by the 1980s, so she's born in 1939, so by the time she's in her 40s, she's married and living with her 3 children along with her husband in the Sendang neighborhood. It's a neighborhood in Seoul, Korea's Jung district. So hopefully that makes sense to people. Now, the family relied mostly on her husband's income. He was a painter. So they were probably solidly like working / middle class. They were not like poor necessarily, but they were not well off. But he was a painter. So, and she was a housewife. So again, this is the mid 1980s by the time
you could do that in the 1980s. Yeah.
Yeah, and they actually, by all accounts, they were doing fine. They have 3 sons, which in this culture, I would imagine is good because you have 3 sons that can go out and work and, and provide for you when you become old and, so, but they're solidly working / middle class. I would say middle class. Now, but there was something that Kim loved to do between washing, cleaning, and cooking. She was about that life. She basically thought she was a Real Housewives of Sing Dang, but she did not have housewives money to be on TV. So, okay.
Oh, okay.
Because she not only loved to live above her means and dress nice, and but she also loved gambling. But she's the type of woman that would, like, even though she's middle class, like, she would still go to Lord & Taylor's, Macy's, and shop way too much because she had to have the latest, maybe not Chanel bag, but the latest. Listen, I'm guilty of it. I got way too many freaking clothes in my closet, but I also don't have 3 children.
Right.
And I have a job.
Right.
I have a job.
Right.
So I have a job, and babies need food and lots of other things that don't come
probably
with.
More than you need new clothes. I see that. Okay.
And gambling, I'm not a gambler. Like, I'll gamble to make money, but if I don't understand gambling like big, unless you win big. Like, if you've won, $200,000 or $20,000 on something, and then you're gambling, I kind of understand that more so than like you lose 1,000 and then you're like, I'm gonna go back, and then you lose 2,500 and then you keep going back. You're like, no, I'm gonna lose. I'm losing way more. So anyway, so she was about that life basically. Now, because she was not working and she didn't even have a side hustle, because you think, okay, I need more money, so let me like start a side business, doing hair in my apartment, in my home, or like selling, I don't know, repurposed clothes or something, right? Like doing Poshmark or something, trying to get that hustle in, right? Which a lot of housewives do, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But because she wasn't doing that, she would just borrow to gamble and to get her hair did every week. Because she would, by all accounts, she loves to look good too.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh,
I can't get it
those
in
ladies who are into like the nails and the hair. Oh, no. You get your hair and nails done. That's every week, baby. That's every week.
I do like the nails. Okay.
Yeah, that's every week. Like, you gotta keep, and it's just, her husband, and this is not an uncommon situation where the husband's like, we don't make that much money. Like, that's why it reminded me of Jen Shaw. Like, husband's like, we're making enough to like live well. Like, why do you need to have 5 Chanel bags, or spend $50,000 a month or whatever, right?
Right.
So Kim is not as flamboyant as Jen Shaw, and again, this is the mid 1980s, but this is also the mid 1980s where what's the line from the movie Wall Street? Greed is good. So it's a very ostentatious time throughout the world, right? It was a very like indulgent kind of time. So, again, Kim's not working. She's living that high life, gambling.
And she's getting her hair done weekly.
I'm just assuming that, but by all accounts, she loved to look good. She loved to look good. So she had to come up with a solution. Like I said, maybe do a home business where she's doing hair in her home, a newspaper route. I know she's in her 40s, but hey, you could do something. No.
Work at a bookstore,
Kim is like, no home business, no. Poshmark has not started yet. eBay hasn't started yet. So let's do murder.
Oh,
yes.
Oh, that's not okay. Oh, yeah. Okay. Go on.
That's a leap she made. That's the leap. That's the leap she made.
Because there are coffee shops you could have, gotten a part-time job at instead.
I don't know. Perhaps culturally there's something we're missing that it was not. I suspect she probably would have thought it was beneath her anyway to get a job, but
then don't
maybe
buy
culturally
all the clothes. That's okay too.
Yeah, it was just live within your means. So now, her first murder that they know of now started on Halloween in 1986. So October 31st.
She could just put it on a credit card. Okay, go on. Sorry, because it's on Halloween.
October 31st, 1986. So Kim asked a friend of hers, another woman by the name of Kim, but Kim Agi Kwang, Again, I might be mispronouncing that, but it was a friend that lived near her in the neighborhood.
Okay.
She asked her to go to a sauna to relax. You know, the Korean spas we love. I love a Korean spa. They're fabulous.
No, they're the best.
You know, it was and Korean spas are even then, well, especially then, because now that, you know, we have them, they're ubiquitous throughout certain parts of the U.S. as well. And so, but, you know, culturally, it's a place for women to hang out and, you know, just hang out, like men hang out, play cards or checkers or whatever and drink. Women go to saunas and talk and gossip and then have lunch, right?
Yeah.
So they went to the sauna to relax. Now, not long after, they were getting dressed in the, you know, the locker room, and the other Kim Gi-hyung, fell down the stairs.
In the locker room?
On their way out. So they're getting dressed, and somehow she just fell down the stairs. Okay.
That's unfortunate.
She was transferred. Yeah. She was transferred to a nearby hospital and later died. Okay.
Oh my God.
Now, police did a brief investigation, but found no evidence pointing to a crime, despite a seemingly healthy woman in her 40s dying. Right?
Yeah.
Now, no autopsy was done because autopsies were kind of taboo in Korean society then.
Really?
Most people believe that it was a form of killing the dead again. So re-killing the dead. And so they just didn't really do it. So police did a brief investigation, but the family refused autopsy. So there wasn't really anything they could do. So the only thing they did find was odd was that her necklace and her ring was missing.
Oh, shit.
So now so the following year, in April of 1987, our girl, Kim Sun-JA, asked a 50-year-old woman by the name of Jeong Sun-Ja, a friend and actually a creditor, who Kim had borrowed money from in the past. So she owed Jeong Sun-Ja money. Okay. And she told Kim, she's like, you know, I actually know somebody who owes me money and they're going to pay me. So let's take a bus over there and we'll get the money in Yeongdeungpo. So this is a different area. So soon Ja is like, okay, yeah, you owe me money. Okay, I'm gonna get my money. Let's do this, right? So, now apparently, she had actually Kim Sun-Ja had borrowed about $5,200 from Soon, and Soon is Soon, Sun-Ja. She had borrowed the money, but again, that's why Sun-Ja, that's a lot of money. She's like, oh, let me get part of my money back, and
that's probably like $15,000 now. Like,
yeah. So, well, that's by today's standards. So it's about $5,200. That's a lot of money. Yeah. And so while riding on the bus together, Jeong Sun-Ja suddenly collapsed.
Shut up.
She was taken to a nearby hospital.
Okay.
And died soon after.
Wow.
Okay.
Okay.
Now, following year, February 1988, Kim suggested that another woman in her 40s, a friend.
Why is anyone still friends with this woman?
Together. Yeah. So she, basically the same thing happened. Now, that's the following year.
Like at the coffee shop, and then like, she goes down, and then she dies later that day. Okay.
The woman,
my Lord.
After, now in this particular instance, they were actually on their way back home in a taxi. And she's like, oh, I'm not feeling really well, so let's pull over. And Kim is like, oh, actually drink this healthy drink.
Shut up.
Drink some more of it. And this Kim, so this is different Kim, her friend, got a little bit suspicious. And she's like, no, I don't want. So let's go home. She actually got away. So this is her attempted fourth victim. She got away.
Damn.
And then later on, Kim Sun-Ja came back around to her house and actually repaid her the money that she owed her and said, oh, I'm just checking on you. I hope you feel better.
Interesting. Okay.
Now, so that didn't work. She had to pay that woman back, right? So that's February 1988. March of 1988. So now before we've had a year between deaths.
Right.
Now we have a month later.
Okay.
So it didn't work.
Right.
So in March of 1988, Kim took the bus with her 73-year-old father.
Oh, wow. This got worse. Very worse. What?
As they were returning home from visiting relatives, he reportedly fainted and was rushed to the hospital and later died.
Okay. So
right?
Is no one suspicious
now,
at this point?
No, because this is a very unassuming, like, woman. She's just, and again, this is South Korean culture. This is the 80s. She's just like a housewife. No one's suspecting, Now, so obviously it's working out in the family, right? So then she moves on to her sister. What? The following month, April of 1988.
Girl!
She ended up poisoning her 46-year-old younger sister. And like the previous victims, most of the previous victims, she had borrowed money from her sister. And her sister was asking for the money back. Later on, they found that she had taken her sister's handbag and jewelry and managed to run away. That's what witnesses said, that there was a woman nearby who they didn't even realize it was her sister because she seemed kind of cold. And she ran off with the money. I mean, this is what they pieced together later on. Ran off with her purse and jewelry. And now that was in April of 1988. August of 1988.
Oh, so she took a few months off. Maybe went to the beach. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
She met up with a cousin of hers, 46-year-old cousin, at a coffee shop where she asked to borrow money because she said that she found this great house. She's like, I have this wonderful house. It can be an investment. It's going to pay off. I just need a loan. So the cousin, probably being of means, was like, okay, I want to help you out. This is great. So she went to, she had already supposedly gotten the money from the cousin. So basically her asking for the money and the killing is getting shorter and shorter and shorter in between.
Yeah.
Because before she would ask for the money and then probably maybe weeks would go by and they're asking for it. And then she's like, well, I got to get rid of them. But apparently the cousin gave her, was meeting with her to give her the money. Of course, the cousin, Sung Si-won, suddenly collapsed while riding the bus, taken to the hospital, and you guessed it, died. Okay.
Why am I laughing?
Because
it's terrible. But this is crazy.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
Now keep in mind, on the authority side, they're just like, there's all these like random like people dying and there's no autopsy again. And so this time,
she's getting away with a lot.
She's getting away with this because they haven't connected her to any of these yet.
I have to say.
They're just like, oh, she was with a friend and da-da-da.
That if this
so
was,
the cops are like.
If this was happening at the turn of the century Canada, Murdoch would have figured it out by now. I have to say that because it's what I'm thinking. And I have to say what I'm thinking.
Absolutely. Now, so the authorities were able to get Sung Si-won's husband to agree to an autopsy. Okay. So he finally agreed for it. I'm so sorry. I think my grandfather, he talks so loud. I don't know why.
Oh yeah, I can.
Tell
him I said hi.
I apologize. I will. But so they finally were able to do an autopsy, and that's when they found, you guessed it, poison.
Ooh, color me surprised. Don't color me surprised.
So
I figured.
So then they started going back and they were looking at those other sort of suspicious deaths where like seemingly healthy people, most of these people were in their 40s who, not like really, really young, but certainly not old to just be dying like suddenly, right?
Right.
And many of them complained of pain and, vomiting, and then they just died at the hospital, right? Okay. So authorities, after they did the autopsy and then they retraced it, they did their job. They actually arrested her on September 2nd, 1988. Now, she was arrested for... No, go ahead.
They linked her to all of those other people.
They started linking her. Okay. That, oh, she was a friend of this person. Oh, this is her cousin. Oh, this is her father. This was her sister. Yes, because
Good
all of
job,
these seem like
South
similar
Korean Murdoch. Good job.
police
Okay.
work, just police work, right?
Yeah.
So they arrested her and charged her of poisoning relatives and creditors. And supposedly it was this. They had a tip, then they had this weird stuff. Again, solid police work.
Yeah.
Because they had found the same kind of substance in each of these suspicious deaths. Once they went back, so after they did the autopsy on Song Si-won, they actually went back, and because of they had suspicions, they were able to pull up those bodies and then find the poison.
I would really love this episode of South Korean Murdoch, like the intrigue, right? And then that innocent woman who was like distraught is like her. It's her. Okay.
Yeah. Go on. And again, so they started looking closer at her. You know, obviously before they went in, they were like, yeah, this is the person. And then they started talking around in the neighborhood, and they were like I was saying, that even though she was in her 40s in the 80s where people thought you died, like then they said she took special care about, she was very vain about her appearance, but she also loved to dress really, really well, and she loved to gamble. So now when they came in to arrest her, of course she denied everything, vehemently denied everything.
Denied.
Yeah, and police actually searched her home. They found jewelry and cash stolen from some of the deceased. And they actually found a clump of cyanide that had been balled up into like a newspaper, and like balled up even more and hidden in a small hole near the toilet in an outside, basically an outhouse.
Now that is good detective work. Okay.
Good detective work. According to investigators, she had bought the cyanide from a nephew working at a chemical company under the pretense of catching pheasants.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Cool.
So of course they say she put on a fuss when they arrested her. No, like she's crying and yelling and cursing them out. No. She put on a fuss, and then they started showing her the receipts. And once they found all of that evidence in the house, but even when she went to trial, she was like, no, I'm innocent. This is nope. No one was buying it. I would imagine also the people were so shocked that a seemingly unassuming woman in her 40s, housewife, would have killed strangers and family members alike.
Yeah.
And they also said the thing that really cinched her conviction is that witnesses, after they pieced together, witnesses said that as she saw her, so basically she would give them like a healthy drink. So they would think, oh, it's bitter because it's healthy, right? And witnesses said that she would be sitting next to them and watching them convulse in pain. Okay. And seemed to have
First of all, this is the danger of wellness culture. Okay. If it's disgusting, you do not have to consume it.
Nope.
I just wanted to have a moment. But like, this woman's psychotic. That's psychotic. That's like, I mean, I'm not a psychotherapist, but it's definitely like one of the bad things, you know.
And they also said that she was so clever. Also, she seemed to be unrepentant. And also it's very much premeditated in a lot of ways, because they said that she would use like a psychological method. Like she would ask for a specific amount, because people thought, oh, it's not like, oh, $5,000. Yeah. It's like $484 or $4,842, like a specific amount to seem trustworthy. Like, I'm using this to buy a house, or I'm using this to do this. Yeah.
That's how much this costs.
I also think it's very clever to say to someone who you owe money to, oh, help me go with me to this other person that owes me money, and then I'll pay you back. So the person's like, well, yeah, I'm going to get my money back.
Here's what I will do from now on. Let me know when you have the money, and you can give it to me then, because I will trust no one again after this story. Yeah, maybe don't lend money. I don't know what to tell y'all.
I mean, but it's family members, right? So you don't think that your cousin's going to try and kill you so they don't have to pay you back from the money you loan them.
Right? That's crazy. Okay, wait. Did her husband have any clue?
No. No.
Wow.
I have a feeling if she's this type of woman, she's either manipulating him in a way that he doesn't know, or she's just bullying him in the household.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, that would track.
Yeah.
Or she's
just
like
because he makes
sweet
the money.
as pie.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like he has no idea that this is who he's living with, and this is a mother of 3 sons, 3 boys.
So what?
Yep.
So did she? Was
and
there
killed
a trial?
her 73-year-old father. During the trial, they're not really sure if she had borrowed money from him because they can trace back to the money that basically she killed because she didn't want to pay back the debt that she had borrowed. But with the father, they couldn't really figure that out. Yeah.
That was the one thing that made no sense to me. Like, what are you getting out of killing your father?
But who knows? Maybe she was his favorite daughter and he gave her money and didn't tell anybody. Or maybe, he had a savings that he gave to her or something. Who knows, because they didn't find like insurance or anything like that. But who knows? She may have had a secret. Who knows? Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, during the trial, so again, she was like in denial, but nope. Eventually, she was just like, okay. So she was eventually sentenced to death by the Supreme Court in 1989 at the age of 49. Now, she wasn't sentenced until about 8 years later on December 30th. She was sentenced to death, in 89, but she wasn't executed until about 9 years later.
So she was like
executed
on death row
on death row,
8 years?
pretty much.
Okay.
And keep in mind, this was crazy. She is known as Korea's first female serial killer. So you can imagine they were like, what? Like, what? But on December 30th, 1997, she was executed at the Daejeon prison at age 58. On the day of her execution, 22 other violent criminals were also executed in prisons around the country. And this was also known as the last executions conducted in South Korea.
Oh, wow.
And like I said, she was notorious for being South Korea's first known female serial killer. It kind of reminds me of, and this was in 1980 she was doing this, and then she was executed in 1997. I'm sure that there's been serial killers before that were never caught, but this kind of reminds me of like the aspirin poisoner in the United States. I think that happened in the 80s as well, where for those of you who don't know, they used to have like the aspirins were not sealed. You could just open them and there was like cotton inside.
Yeah.
And it was after that, because people would never even think about poisoning medicine, right? So that is why a lot of stuff has seals on them. Yeah. And even during the pandemic, these people were, it's like the loss of innocence, right? Because it's like, who would even think to do that kind of thing, right? So who would even think to murder so cavalierly people that you owed money to, and so callously, family members over debt.
It's just crazy.
You made a bad decision, and you made them pay for your bad decision because you decided that they had to die. They didn't do anything to you. If anything, they actually helped you, and you paid them. You repaid them by murdering them.
She is a horrible excuse for a human. Like, I am not a pro death penalty person.
I am. I'd say it. I am. Some motherfuckers need to die.
I think part of it is in America, at least, we mess up.
That is inappropriately gone to innocent black men? Yeah.
Yes.
that
and
part.
So that's kind of why I'm like, let's not do the death penalty, because the odds of them not having done it are up there in our country.
Yeah. Especially when it comes to black men or black women or anybody non-white, or even a poor white person who stole a backpack.
There you go.
Or stole $50 worth of something from a store does not deserve the death penalty. Whereas somebody who's going around raping children and people and murdering and I feel like she killed a lot of people. I don't know why she needs to keep living,
You know, like that's right. I get torn because it's like, but I think a lot of it, like, look, if we had a justice system that was actually filled with justice, I might change my mind.
Well, yeah, in a perfect world, I'm definitely all for the death penalty. But I'm also in those motherfuckers, we know they did it, or these people who are in death row for like 30 years and they have like 40 or 58 bodies on them because they've killed a bunch of sex workers that nobody cared about. Die. Don't die.
Peace
but
out.
Like this is also so personal. But I would imagine that in the culture at the time, they were probably so shocked and like their world was like shattered because you would never think that this was a thing that people would do. And it reminds me, like I said, of the aspirin or like during the pandemic, people were going around, what's that ice cream, the Bluebell ice cream? People were going around and opening it because it's not sealed and licking it and then putting it back in
I didn't know
the freezer.
That's horrific.
And we wouldn't have known that had they not been filming it for content. And then getting mad when people start dragging them.
I really appreciate
how many people have done things like that? Yeah. Thank God they were dumb. Like, how many people have done that, never filmed it, and just put it back in the freezer in a grocery store?
Well, I mean, I'm now parent. Like, I opened a package once, and it was like the little thing was like a little bit open, and I was like, trash, bye.
You and me both. Because you and me both.
I will throw that $4 down the trash happily.
Yeah, like
not angrily, but still.
Yeah, but this is so. Listen, I love a bad girl. I love a murderess. But even with me, this is like, oh, that bitch should go down.
She killed no one worth killing. You know,
she just killed. But again, she killed people who had helped her.
Yeah, exactly.
And because she couldn't get out of a jam, murder. Like again, she Kim wasn't like, oh, let me sell potions along the street. Let me start a side hustle. No, she was like murder.
Yeah, I mean, she was like, well, I like a new pair of shoes. Maybe I'll murder that person. Yes, that's a good idea. Like,
she literally,
like, come on.
But Miriam, think about it. She literally, murder was her job because she literally was doing it once a year, and then once a month. She
was like, I'm going to commit to this career. Let's do this.
Yep.
I'm a boss bitch. No, girl.
Yep. Nope. So, normally I love a murderess again, but not Kim Sun-JA. That is my notorious woman for this week. I was just like, this bitch is crazy.
Thank you so much for sharing her, because I'm going to have weird dreams, I think, for a little bit.
But you know what? I also love, people wonder why women, because women disproportionately love true crime. One of the reasons I love true crime is stuff that you need to look out for, because these motherfuckers will tell you.
That's part of it.
Yes.
Honestly.
Yes.
You know, like never click on for $99, we can help you start your own business. Don't click on it. Now I know. Right?
Don't click on it. Don't click it and don't drink it.
Money. If you do lend friends money, never ask for it back. Think of it as giving it to them. You've given them money. It's gone. Okay?
Yep.
If you receive it magically, cool. Other than that, walk away.
Do not ask for it back, man. I tell you, but that is why I love true crime as well. And then you just like the audacity of some people, but this is just killing people close to you, right? Because it's one thing to kill like random people or like a type, an archetype, right? You have an MO. Right. I love girls with brown hair or whatever, right? That's terrifying in and of itself, because if you're a girl with brown hair, right? But like just to kill like intimate friends. Can you imagine you go to a Korean spa with your friend? Can you imagine me and you, Miriam, we go to, and we're like, haha, we're going to have girl time. And one comes back dead.
Right. Like, and then I fall down some stairs. What?
Yeah.
Lavetta, I hereby promise that I will never poison you ever. Okay?
Yeah, and you don't take this personally, but I don't.
Wow.
Okay.
Oh
no, I will never. Oh,
thank you.
Never.
I thought you were not going to promise that to me. I thought you were like, it's on the table.
I'm just going to say I don't.
Okay.
I'm still never going to drink just some random healthy
hell
drink
no.
you give me.
And listen, if it's bitter and you don't like it, don't drink it. Don't
Spit it
do
out.
it. Mm-mm.
Be like the one woman who survived, who was like,
Right?
no.
Exactly.
Yeah, man. Like, whoo. And it's probably nothing more eerie than surviving a serial killer, right?
I know, right? Oh my God.
That is so crazy.
On that
but
note,
that wraps it up. Well, I mean, listen, we're here to educate and entertain. So,
You're welcome.
On that note, that wraps it up for another episode of Notorious Women Podcast. Like I said at the beginning of the show, please follow us and on all the things, and also share our stories, share our episodes, share our show. If again, we always say, because it's just easier, copy the link and send it to your friends. Email it.
It would
text.
It would help us out a lot. So
message,
thank you.
Slack. Just send it to your friends. You can also follow us on actually Patreon if you want to support the show on Patreon. I was going to step on your foot and
how dare
step
you
on your toes and do your thing. Yeah.
You know I can't spell Patreon. You have to talk about Patreon. Okay, go on.
I know, right? But it's Patreon. If you want to support the show financially, you can do that for as little as $2 a month, or you can do a one-time donation to the show to help us out. You can do that at patreon.com/notoriouswomen, and that's patreon.com/notoriouswomen. And Miriam, I kick it to you, my dear.
All right. Okay, y'all. Notorious Women Podcast. That is our Instagram. That is our TikTok. That is our YouTube. It's all Notorious Women Podcast. Please follow us there and like our stuff. It's like me, please. But like, listen, it's a fun, good time. I like to curate some fun things. So come join us.
Miriam's
and you can always watch the episodes on the YouTube where the kids play.
On the YouTubes.
Yeah, and you can also email us. We're at notoriouswmpod@gmail.com. You can also DM us on Instagram. And that is it. That is that.
Yes, thank you. And actually, if you guys want to send us some people that you think might be cool, we would love to do that as well.
We would love that, please.
And I believe Deborah Battle has sent a couple, so thank you again, Deborah Battle.
Yeah.
And Daniel, our other YouTube listeners who've been giving us some love. And if you want to join them, go over to YouTube and leave us a comment, or Instagram. Leave us or Tickety Talk. Can they leave comments on Tickety Talk?
Listen, I don't actually know.
Maybe. All right, guys. We will see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.